You're listening to Bad Girlfriend Radio. I'm your host, Bree Schmidt. I'm a relationship coach and educator offering advice and insight that is no shame, no sugarcoat, and no BS. Today I'm talking about minimalism. And no, I don't mean minimalism like cleaning out your house of all of your clutter or living out of a van. I'm talking about applying minimalism to dating and your relationships. I'm talking about only giving time and energy to the relationships that are worth it. So let's get started. Okay, I lied. We can't get started yet because I have to interrupt to tell you that right now, for a limited time, you can get your first one-on-one coaching session with me for half off. Yes, 50% off. And not only that, but half of your payment will then go to a nonprofit called Futures Without Violence. They work to end domestic and sexual violence worldwide, and they help those, especially women and children, who have been affected by violence. I love what they're doing, and I wanted to find a way to help you grow and improve your relationships and have the life that you want while also helping other women at the same time. The coaching that I offer is personalized to you, what you need and what goals you have, whether that be creating healthy relationship habits, dealing with a breakup, or just learning to love being single. Wherever you're at, if you're getting stuck, I'm here to help you using cognitive behavioral coaching strategies to help you get back on track. And again, all of this in your first session is half off. So to sign up now for a one-on-one coaching call with me, go to breeschmidt.com/first session. That's breeschmidt.com/FIRSTSESSION. All right, now let's get on with today's topic. I am recording on a very hot, sunny day here in Tokyo, and the cicadas, those big, loud flying insects, are out and loud and proud today. So if you hear any strange sound in the background, that's what it is. The cicadas will be providing some background noise today. So today is all about being a minimalist in relationships. You probably have an idea of what minimalism is. You've probably heard of the people who own like 5 articles of clothing. You know, they take pride in not owning a TV. They're just basically ready to go on a backpacking trip any second. But minimalism is more than that. And for the record, I wouldn't say that I even really live a minimalist lifestyle in general, but I realize that it's something that I accidentally adopted when it comes to relationships, but we'll get to that in a minute. So what is minimalism? So in general, minimalism is a lifestyle where you just take what is necessary and you let go of attachment to things that add negativity or clutter or distraction in your life. This can absolutely include the things that fill up your home, right? Like all the bathroom products crowding your sink, all the clothes in your closet, half of which maybe you don't even wear, so much food in your pantry that some of it gets thrown out before it can even be eaten because it goes bad, or a drawer in your house called the junk drawer because it is literally filled with junk that you just won't throw away. Does anyone else have a junk drawer? So minimalism aims to get rid of all of that clutter. It could also extend to your schedule and your time, not making too many unnecessary plans in your calendar, leaving space for free time or rest or doing something spontaneous. Whereas if you don't have a minimalist approach, then you might always be complaining that you're too busy, you're getting burned out, you're saying yes to events and outings that you actually don't really want to go on and then you want to cancel the day of. And 100% minimalism can apply to your relationships and dating life. And even though, like I said, I'm not really a minimalist necessarily, I think that dating needs minimalism now more than ever. Online dating is creating a huge problem, and that problem is that there are too many options. Remember back in elementary school when it was so easy for you to find your soulmate in like PE class? Like out of 22 kids, there they were, your soulmate. Or at least that's what you thought when you were, 9 years old, right? You thought like they are the one. Wow, they are so cute. Look at them in their PE uniform. I mean, if you could find a crush so easily back then out of such a small pool, why now, when you have basically limitless options, is it so hard? It's hard because you have limitless options. It's hard because everyone else on those dating apps also has limitless options. This means that at any given moment, you could be talking to like a dozen different people. The commitment to each of those people is low. And I think it's good to be picky to an extent, actually, because sometimes with online dating especially, I see people overanalyzing the smallest things and ghosting someone or swiping left because of it. Like, oh, I don't like their hat in this photo, so swipe left. They're 1 year younger than me and I only date older, so swipe left. They said that they're allergic to cats on our first date, so no chance of a second date, we're done. The problem with too many options is that everyone is trying to find perfection, and perfection is elusive. But you might keep trying because, what if this person isn't the right one? Maybe I should go meet those other 12 people that I matched with. Maybe I should join another dating app. And yet somehow in PE class, you found someone you liked so much out of, 22 options. And if you prefer one gender over another, then we can roughly half that. So basically you found love out of 11 people. You get what I'm saying? So it's good to be picky, but you don't have to be too picky. You don't have to try to find perfection. So when there are too many options, the way to apply minimalism to your relationship is to narrow it down to what you really want. And no, this doesn't mean a list of 100 different things that your ideal partner should have or be or do. Your list of what you want should also be quite minimal, quite short. And I've said this before in the past, but a great place to start is to actually look at your deal breakers. Episode 2 was all about deal breakers, so you can go listen to that if you haven't yet. But I suggest getting really clear on what you are not okay with in relationships. This makes it so easy to weed out the people who you don't need to waste your time on. And as a quick recap of that episode about deal breakers, there are 5 fundamental deal breakers that apply to everyone. And they are: 1, a relationship where there is physical abuse or threats or a lack of respect for you and your physical safety and health. 2, they belittle you and your identity. 3, they ignore you and turn away from you on a regular basis. 4, there are lies, even small white lies. And 5, you just feel bad or off or strange in some kind of way being in the relationship with this person, where you might be feeling strangely insecure or humiliated or disrespected, even if you can't really put your finger on why, but just something feels not right. And then in addition to these 5 deal breakers, each person has their own preferences, and also people have their own unique triggers that may be especially hard for them to deal with because it might relate to a past trauma or bad experience that they had. So these deal breakers can really vary depending on the person. So know your deal breakers, keep them in mind, and weed out anyone who fits one or more of your deal breakers. Don't even waste your time on them. The key is to not get caught up in the limitless options that you have on dating apps, but also don't have a list of your requirements and deal breakers that is so long that no one can possibly fit. And with this, it's important to get clear on your needs and values too, and be unapologetic about them. You don't need to sacrifice what's important to you for a relationship. A minimalist knows what they value and need, and then they get rid of the extra junk. Like an excessive collection of black handbags, or like someone who only messages you at 1 a.m. Which brings me to my next point. Applying minimalism to dating and relationships means only making space in your life for meaningful relationships. I see so many people get stuck or discouraged in dating because of people who they said that they didn't even care that much about. Like they didn't even see a future together. They wanted to keep things casual. And yet they start having some not so casual feelings. And I am not about to start using that old, tired stereotype about women being too emotional. Women fall in love with anyone who they hook up with. Women can't possibly have sex without catching feelings. I don't think that that's true, actually. But what can happen is that a relationship, even a casual one, even like a purely physical one, can still bring up some kind of vulnerable feelings. It can start to trigger some negative thoughts and insecurities. This is not the same as women falling in love for every guy that they hook up with. It is possible to hook up without it leading to commitment or an emotional bond. But be honest with yourself. Do you have some insecurities or these automatic negative thought patterns coming up in these casual relationships? You're not doing anything wrong if you do, but it's so important to know yourself and to get to know the beliefs that you might be carrying around that come up in these relationships. And the most important thing when it comes to having a minimalist approach is to not waste energy on relationships that mean nothing and that only trigger you to spiral into negative thoughts. So in other words, don't waste your energy and emotional well-being on relationships that actually mean nothing to you. If you're going into a relationship that is supposed to just be fun and casual, and it's not feeling so fun and casual after all, and it's not even with someone who really means anything to you because you've lowered your standards for this more casual relationship, let it go. It's like the junk drawer. Like clear it out and let it go. It's only taking up space in your life and weighing you down. Narrow it down to meaningful relationships. This isn't an anti-hookup message by any means, but be clear with yourself if you're hooking up or having casual relationships and you're feeling energized from it, or if you're feeling drained from it. If there is one theme of this whole episode, that is it. Only focus on what gives you energy, not what drains your energy. I'm interrupting here to make sure that you've already signed up for freebies, including free worksheets, quizzes, and other online resources, plus updates and future discounts on coaching and more. If you haven't already signed up, make sure to go to brieschmidt.com/sign up and you'll get instant access to the full digital resource library. Here you can take quizzes like what's your attachment style or how assertive are you? Or you can download guides and worksheets like the guide to navigating your next big relationship fight, a worksheet to help you plan your future, and more, and it's all free. So again, make sure to sign up at brieschmidt.com/sign up. Now let's get back to today's topic. So the theme is only focus on what gives you energy, not what drains your energy. And this applies not only to dating, but to other relationships too, both committed romantic relationships and also non-romantic relationships in your life. Relationships can offer an opportunity for growth. So if a relationship is draining you of your energy, keeping you from growing, keeping you stuck in old habits or who you were in your past or old drama, whatever it might be, is that a relationship that you actually want to hold on to? The truth is, having history isn't enough to have a relationship, or at least it shouldn't be. Do you share the same values? Are there no deal breakers? Are you helping each other to grow and have the lives that you want? So to summarize minimalism in relationships, it really is a less is more approach. Focus on your most meaningful relationships and clear out the ones that are draining you. When it comes to dating, be picky and know your deal breakers and what you need from a partner. And don't waste your time lowering your standards, even in casual or non-committed relationships. You will experience dating burnout if you are serial dating one person after the next, or if you're constantly trying to keep your options open and talking to multiple people. You will get exhausted trying to entertain so many different potential matches, and in many cases, your connection with each of them will just be watered down. So be selective about who you go on dates with or who you hook up with. Be clear about what you need and quickly weed out people based on your deal breakers and red flags. This will help you to be more mindful in each interaction and on each date. And you have to be mindful in order to create a connection. If you're going on dates and in your head you're comparing this date to the date from last weekend, or if this person is as interesting as that other person who you're messaging, like if your head is always trying to juggle all the different options, you're limiting yourself from having a connection with the person right in front of you. And as much as it's necessary to be selective and say no to anyone who isn't right for you, it's also important to not have a laundry list of requirements. Remember, there is no perfect person. And most of all, minimalism is about protecting your energy. You do not need to be available to everyone. You don't need to give everyone a chance. If you do, you probably will get burned out. Protect your energy, limit your options, and focus on the people and relationships that energize you, not the ones that drain you. Quality over quantity. It's okay to keep your friend circle small. It's okay to nurture your close relationships first before starting new ones. It's okay to want to get to know people before you make any commitments. It's okay to be picky about who you hook up with or who you talk to or who you meet up with. So with this in mind, are you a relationship minimalist? I'm curious to know what you think of this idea or any other thoughts that might be on your mind today after listening to this episode. You can find me on Instagram and message me there. I'm at Bree_Schmidt, or you can send me a good old-fashioned email at contact@breeschmidt.com. And remember that for a limited time, you can get your first coaching session with me for half off. So if you've been thinking of taking the next steps to work on your relationships, including the relationship with yourself, this is a great time to do so. All right, thanks for listening as always. Until next time.